Okay, BobalosRex here, and today we're talking about what's going on with patch 11.1.5, which arrives on April 22nd. Surprise, surprise. So, we're going to go through everything on here, but first we're going to start with Nightfall, which is what I think the patch is basically called, but let's go through Nightfall real quick because this is the main event. So, first off, it comes as a renown. There is like a one-time quest as well. And you basically just grind out the rep weekly. You can use alts to get more rep with this rep. So you can actually just funnel rep and blast it out as quick as you can with alts if you got enough alts. But otherwise, it's a slow weekly grind. There's the main event, which starts at the top of the hour. So it started at 5. It goes to about 5:15. It kind of works like the Researchers Under Fire, where you can do these events to increase your progress, and you yourself get points for your progress. And if you progress the overall mission, you get an extra little goodie at the end. And at the end, it spawns a boss. You fight the boss. If you don't complete the thing, it'll still get to the end and spawn the boss, and then you can just finish out the event. So even if you're solo or in a group, or there's not people here or whatever, you'll be able to get through the event. Now, in the downtime, there's going to be these little fill your bar up quests, weekly quests. You can do those, get rep. You get reduced rep on alts, but you do get rep on alts. So you go around Ash Kahet, and Hollowfall and complete these little weeklies, fill up the bars, turn them all in. And what do you get for these? Just a little bit of rep, a bag that can contain a mount, and veteran loot. Alright, there's going to be... You have a chance at veteran loot. And then weekly, you'll be able to buy a champion piece from the weekly. Alright, so there's that. Alright, so see, I got a Radiant emblem. I can buy a piece of champion gear if I needed it. So that's the Nightfall event. It's just some good alt catch-up. And then as far as the renown goes, okay, so you'll start getting tabards. So I have the first quest here to get a tabard. You'll get a tabard all the way up, or maybe, I think it upgrades at specific levels. Yeah, I think it upgrades... Maybe it's right at the end. But you get a couple of tabard transmogs. And then you get 3 toys. 1 is a mailbox. 2 pets. A backpack transmog. Dirigible schematics. And a mount from the rep. And then you'll get this champion necklace. Now, the cool part with this necklace is you can buy it on alts. So it's great alt catch-up gear for resonance crystals if you want to get a fresh alt. Alright, so there's that. Now, what else is in this patch? Well, let's go back to the page and I'll tell you about that. So, we got the buff. The winds of mysterious fortune are in your favor. Beginning April 22nd through May 20th, we're going to be getting a bunch of bonus rep. So, we're getting 20% bonus experience, alright? We're getting 200% major faction renowns in Dragonflight. They are excluding the specific ones. Y'all know which ones. The furballs. And then we got 100% for the War Within, excluding Undermine, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. It's catch-up rep for Dragonflight and the War Within. There's also, with this buff, you're going to get a daily bonus chance to get a bag. And then the bag's also just going to be able to drop all the time. Now, what I think the daily bonus is, I think the bag is going to give you a piece of gear for the daily bonus, but we're not 100% sure. But you will also be able to get a 10% EXP potion, which can stack with the 20%, so you get 30%, and other little potions that the player can get. Alright, stat boosts and visual alterations. Alright, so that's going to be the buff. That's going to go to the 20th, which is when Visions come out. But another thing about reps, right? So you're seeing Dragonflight rep, War Within rep. In this patch, a rep becomes account wide. So we got our Warbound rep tab right here. So we got War Within, we got Dragonflight, and now in this patch, we're getting Shadowlands rep is becoming account wide. All right, not everything. The renowns aren't account wide. Okay, the other reps that are missing out, the Ember Court rep isn't account wide, and the Stitch Yard isn't account wide. Why they're excluding those, I have no clue. I think it's silly to exclude those two. I think they should just put them on, but it is, I'm just telling you what we got. All right. Next up, there are going to be Children's Week updates. So this patch comes out the 22nd. Children's Week starts on the 28th. There are updates for it. There was some data mine stuff. I'll report what's going on with them when we actually got full news with that. Next up, edit mode. Edit mode is getting an update. So we're going to pull up advanced options right here, and we're going to be able to use cooldown manager, and also we got durations bars over here where you can track durations of stuff. It's cool. We got all this stuff, new updates to that, so check it out. If you're into customizing your UI, maybe you'll be able to get rid of an add-on or not. That's for y'all to decide. Alright, next up we're going to talk about visions, and I'll tell y'all what's going on with them. But all of what I described beforehand, that's all the stuff that comes out on patch day. So you'll be able to get all this stuff done, the UI updates, the reps, the leveling bonus. There are achievements linked to this rep. Alright, there are a couple of exploration ones, you know, involved with killing some stuff, doing the little quests. And then there is no quest one, but there is a reputation one. And if we do get another complete all the stuff of the Undermine patch achievement, this rep's going to be on it. And remember, you can use alts to grind it quicker. So alright, now a month after the patch, we're going to be getting visions, and I'm going to show you what those are like right now. Alright, now beginning May 20th, we are going to get Horrific Visions Revisited, which comes with new achievements. Visions of N'Zoth Revisited. Alright, so we're going to get new achievements. Alright, as well as new goodies as well. And returning ones. So first off, you're going to be able to get a new mount, a new pet, and a new transmog from the vendor. And grinding the new currency, super easy. These visions are repeatable. There's also a new set of transmog that you can unlock once you complete some achievements, which will be a recolor of the LFR version from back in BFA, but with the updated with the mythic level upgrade. So the leather piece, instead of just being the cowl, it's got the full mouth. So that will be cool. So we get a recolor basically, and it's upgraded in a way. So that's great. We also are time gated. This event does seem to be time gated by a couple of weeks, so you're going to be able to get this, a little bit into this in the first week. Then the next week you'll be able to unlock more, and then in the final week you'll be able to unlock all of it. Alright, and then as well, so you'll have Ogremar and Stormwind return. If you don't know what visions are, it's these shadowy versions of those cities with like bosses. You got to run through that. It's basically proto delves. Alright, now I'm going to show you what it looks like inside, and I'll describe it better in a second. But first, as you unlock stuff and complete the achievements that I was showing off here, you'll unlock these weapon vendors. Now these are account wide unlock, so once you unlock these, you'll be able to transfer this currency, which is account wide, and buy weapons on alts, veteran, champion, and then even heroic weapons on alts, fresh alts, transfer some currency, boom, weapon, boom. Super easy. Now let me go show you the inside of Visions and show you what we're working with here. Alright, so people who already know what Visions will notice there's a lot more involved. So there's 3 new masks, a bunch of little unlocks here. Alright. There's also a way to have a little buddy to help you, which will be super good for people that are new to this. And then you would start it by just talking to Rathian to enter a vision. And whatever week, this week it's Stormwind. It's rotating. Now, again, the cool part about these is it's infinitely farmable and it awards loot. It has weekly loot lockouts per level. So it's like 2 boss thrall kill for Orgrimmar is X item level. Then 4 boss thrall is Y, and then a mask run of all of them is this, because once you hit a mask, it's about full clearing at that point. And then it's like 2, 3, 4, 5, and those are all on their own weekly lockout, and you'll be able to get heroic gear. So it kind of works like Delve tiers in a way. So just a whole weekly lockout worth of gear for free that you can just spam farm, okay? Now also, there's going to be the new gimmick with the patch, which is the enchant. So once you do your first vision, you're going to start getting the quest to get the enchant unlocks. And now, once we get that unlocked, we'll have a new vendor outside where the visions are, where I was showing you all the people were, that I'll be able to buy the enchants from, okay? So there'll be an individual, I think it's actually that guy, or it may be on herself, but you'll be able to buy the corruptions, okay? I actually have that unlocked on another character. So it's just super easy. So more alt catch-up, alright? Now, not only are there the new rewards on the vendor, there are many new mounts added into the visions themselves and attached to the achievements. So there's this worm, there's void griffins, there's this guy too. So there's the jewel crafting mount. There's a lot of mounts linked to the visions of N'Zoth. I'll go over all of those in their own video because it is a month away after the patch, so we'll talk about that in its own thing. But now, actually, let's get to the Dastardly Duo, and I'll tell you what's up with them. Alright, and then beginning in June, you'll be able to begin a quest line where you run these fights, okay? And you can also get these weekly quests where you run a fight and get some veteran track loot, basically repeatable veteran track loot. And then the weekly quest gives you a champion piece, alright? So the bag I got here, not that one, this one is going to give me champion piece, alright? So that's pretty nifty, alright? And then as this event plays out over the weeks until it ends, this is very limited time. So when this event starts, I'm going to be doing videos about get this done now. But you, at most, you'd want to come back at the last week and then you do it all the way through. And over the course of these quests, we'll get 1 mount, 2 toys. One of the toys will actually upgrade and you'll be able to show your high scores and item level eventually. And 1 pet. Alright. And what this game mode is you talk to this lady, you queue up. I'll show you what the inside looks real quick. It's just simple. You can queue up as any spec. Tank, again, in solo content is just usually good. This all takes place in Undermine. Just a note for the lore people. Alright, now once you're inside, you'll get that cooldown reset just like arenas. Now right over here, you got food to eat, which will give you some buffs or debuffs, depending on the food. You'll have her, and you'll have your crew, alright? Now, you can dismiss them if you want to go solo mode, okay, or with, like, a couple of people. You can also bring in a group. I could have queued as a group, and again, we can all pick up the points. And then once you're ready to go, you just head down here, enter the dome, it'll give you a countdown, and what's going to happen is all this trash is going to appear. We'll clear the trash, and then 2 of like very old bosses will pop up, and you got to do like both of their mechanics at the same time. And as you see, I got a whole point score, and then at the end of this, I'll get that free piece of champion loot as well as a veteran piece. So again, this is just more alt catch-up that you can just blast, you know? It's super easy. You may not want to pull the entire trash, but, you know, you just gotta do what you gotta do. Now, at the end of this, I'm gonna show y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all a recap of everything that we talked about, and I'll see y'all then. Alright, now you can die, you can fail the timer, and still get a victory. You just gotta get your team through the finish line, alright? Bosses keep HP. Say you full wipe, and you got the boss to 90% health, well, it's starting at 90% health, so you can get it done. So as long as you can do anything, you can get these done and get the quest done, alright? So you get a little prize. I'll get a veteran piece every time I do it. Easy peasy, leave the dastardly duo, alright? Now, what does it mean about this patch? What's the whole deal with this patch? Well, if I were to describe this patch, I would say it's great for alt catch-up, gearing, leveling. There's tons of cosmetics to get, but it is heavily time-gated. So we're looking at a patch that comes out the 22nd. The first, I'd say 50% of it, then the next 30% comes out in May 20th, and then the last little bit comes out on the 3rd in June, and that will get us through to the next patch. Overall, I think it's a decent patch, but heavily time-gated. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.